Hey y'all, welcome back to the Lit Layer. I'm Eve West and I am so excited about today's title. It's Big Sexy Love by Kirsty Greenwood. Stay tuned until the end of the video because I have a bonus title as well, a good companion to this book, I think. Let's dive in. One of my pet peeves in this genre, like the romantic comedy or even just contemporary romance genre in general, is all of these little illustrated covers promising to be so cute and fun, and all the book jackets promise tons of laughs and laugh out loud funny, you laugh till you cry, and then you read the book and it's like, huh? These kind of like lame jokes and stuff, this is what's supposed to be funny? When I heard about this was actually a recommendation from Sophie Cousins. And no, I do not know Sophie Cousins personally. Maybe one day, right? But no, I do not know her personally, but I was reading an interview with her and she recommended this book. So I said, hey, I'm going to definitely check that out then. Dude, it was so funny. Like, it actually delivered on the promise of being this romantic comedy that was truly hilarious. I like to listen to a lot of the British rom-coms just to get that full experience of the British voice. Just adds a little something extra. There were times when I would be like in my house cleaning or folding laundry, whatever I was doing, and I was listening to this book and I would truly like actually laugh out loud. And I don't remember the last time I've done that with a book. Olive Brewster is this 27-year-old sort of stuck in her ways, to say the least. She's had the same job for like 10 years as a fishmonger. So she like fillets these fish or whatever at the local fish market. She lives with her brother in their childhood home, which she's never left, and has never left Manchester, England, where she lives. But her best friend Birdie is dying. Best friend Birdie has this sort of last wish, do this for me kind of mission for Olive. And it is to deliver this letter to this guy, Chuck Allen, who Birdie calls her big sexy love. And so she wants him to get this final letter from her as her kind of dying wish. She wants Olive to deliver it. The only problem, Chuck Allen lives in New York City. Olive has never left Manchester, England. What ensues is an absolutely hilarious adventure for Olive. All of the humor comes from her inability to deal with social situations of all kinds, including like taxis and airports and just all these things. Of course, then she's in New York City. So there's lots of different experiences that she has, and that's where most of the humor comes in. I don't know, have you ever read a book and felt like it was written just for you? You read it and you think, this author was in my head. Like, I loved everything about it. I do have to say though, like full disclosure, British rom-com is my absolute jam. Like, it is my favorite of all. I don't know what it is, just like British rom-coms are just so funny. And I don't know if it's just because of the quirkiness of the language and the different, the heroines on their mobiles being knackered after work and watching telly and eating biscuits. I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it's like that and the unfamiliarity and newness of some of the terminology or what, but I just think British rom-coms are so funny. And like I said before, I did listen to this and the narrator was perfect. And I'd never heard of this book until I read that interview with Sophie Cousins. Now, it did come out in 2017, I think, so it's a little older, so that could be why. If you've seen my BookTube newbie video, you know that I'm pretty new to this genre, just a couple of years that I've been reading romantic comedies, but I'm definitely not alone in loving it because it has a 4.3 on Goodreads, which is like among the highest I've seen on there for this genre anyway, and a 4.5 on Amazon. So clearly, I'm not the only one who loves this book. It has so many comedic moments, it's hard to pick just one for me, but there is this crucial scene in Gramercy Park. Olive unwittingly gets her hair done in the shape of a unicorn horn. Long story. And she finds herself in Gramercy Park, which is like a private park, but she gets accused of being a pervert when she is hitching up her tights, as she calls it. Who hasn't been there, right? When you wear those leggings from Banana Republic that are size small and you convince yourself that you can still fit into them. Yeah. And then they kind of start that slow journey down and all that stuff that they had kind of like, squeezed in and compressed just kind of starts coming out and hanging out. This is what happens to Olive in Gramercy Park. Her two small tights start rolling down. She squats behind this tree to like hitch him up and somebody catches her and accuses her of being a pervert and all this kind of stuff. It is absolutely hilarious. And she doesn't remember that she's got a phallus on her head. And the woman says, yeah, and she's got a phallus on her head. And she's talking to the cops and Olive's like, what? There's a pervert in the park? A phallus? What in the hell? So I'm the pervert, She's like, I was hitching up my tights. And it's a scene that is crucial to the book, and it happens pretty early on, like within the first quarter of the book, I'd say, because it's referenced a lot. The real, I think, selling point of this book is the humor. But the humor is also balanced with a lot of heart and sincerity. There are a lot of beautiful relationships here. Of course, there's a love relationship, and he's wonderful, and you'll love him. And there's a couple of friendships that bloom and blossom. One is with this eccentric guy named Anders who deserves his own book. He is unbelievable. It's like so eccentric. He's like Derek Zoolander meets Dexter. It's just, he's amazing. And then, of course, there's the friendship with Birdie, which is the crux of all this. Her friend Birdie, who's dying, and it's really sweet and sincere, and one of the best written friendships I've read in a long time too. And so it's just a perfect mix. I just loved this book. Please, y'all, read it and let me know if you read it and what you think about it. And if you loved it as much as me, I would love to hear from you about this and let me know what you think. Okay, so another book that Sophie Cousins recommended in this same interview was The Rosie Project by Graham Simsian. This was such a great read, and it's actually a pretty good comparison title with Big Sexy Love. It kind of goes well with it because the main character in The Rosie Project is also kind of a socially awkward guy who's really sheltered and hasn't gotten out there too much. And it's also really funny. I read The Rosie Project in one day. It's unputdownable, and it deserves all of the 5-star reviews and every literary critic, it seemed, in the country and world, maybe, I don't even know, gushing about it. It deserves the praise. It was released in 2014, so it's been around for a while, and it was like a big splash when it came out too. So again, maybe this is a book that you just kind of missed, or maybe you came round to this stuff a little bit later and didn't catch it. But The Rosie Project is written by a man and narrated by a man. So it's kind of unique in that way, but I really enjoyed it. Don Tillman is this brilliant but socially challenged geneticist who, he's like in his late 30s, he's fit. Someone in the book says that he looks like Gregory Peck from To Kill a Mockingbird. So he's doing all right, and he can't understand why he doesn't have a life partner, and he wants a life partner. And so he goes about this project trying to get a life partner and kind of trying to find the perfect person for him. In the process, he learns a lot about himself, even comes to discover that maybe science and data and all that stuff doesn't give you all the answers all the time. It's one of the quirkiest, most unique books I've ever read. And Don Tillman is an unforgettable character that will make you laugh. And it's not this kind of outlandish stuff like Big Sexy Love, like, you know, this girl gets her hair done in the shape of a unicorn horn. It's not like that kind of humor, although sometimes he does some pretty outlandish stuff. It's more his wry, like, observations about things. He'll definitely make you laugh. It's a lot like Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and of course that was a big, title on Reese's book list and all that kind of stuff. So if you read that and liked it, you will love The Rosie Project. I would say it's probably a little more lighthearted than Eleanor Oliphant's Completely Fine, but it's very similar. The two main characters in that are very similar. My final comment, I guess, is like, I'm not sure if this was a good thing to start the year off with these two titles, because I don't know how I'm going to top it, to be honest. Like, these were so good and I enjoyed them so much. And not that it has to be better, kind of set that bar pretty high. So we'll see, right? We'll have to see what the year holds. Leave me a comment and let me know what you started the year off with. How's it going on your TBR? All right, you guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.